Greetings from the Jewelry Art Studio and tubing, part 6, I think at this point. So we fused our tube, the seam looks really great. Now it's time to start pulling it through the metal draw plate. It's gonna make the seam go away without really any help from me, mostly, which, you know, no cleanup is the best kind of cleanup there is. So, full disclosure, I know that when we started this tubing project, we measured a cute little ruby, and those are the measurements we used to make our tubing. But here's the thing, I left that ruby at home, and here I am in the city with a tube. So I don't really have any fucking idea how much to pull that tube to match the ruby, because the ruby isn't here. So, by the magic of my iPhone, I went ahead and used the tubing that Alexis and I were doing. So, because I've been teaching Alexis how to make tubing, and we made some lovely tubing out of fine silver as well, and fused it shut for this beautiful quadruple loop and loop chain that she made, which is like mwah, beautiful, delicious, and I will show it to you. So hopefully you won't be too upset, but I'm gonna just kind of segue over, and we're gonna pull her tubing to match her chain. But the concepts are identical. The point is, after you have fused, you start pulling your tubing through the steel draw plate, and then you just keep checking it against your chain, your stone, you know, whatever your original object was that you measured, that you know, wouldn't leave in a completely different location, because that would be bad. That's how it's done. The concept is exactly the same. At a certain point, when I have all of my brain cells and all of my stuff in one place, I can film trying the ruby and taking that tubing and making sure it fits. Basically, it goes over till it just picks it up a nice tight fit. But hopefully you will forgive my shit for brains method, and you'll still get all the technique that you need out of it. So, onward. So it's all beautiful and fused. So now we're going to start pulling it through the draw plate. And you see this is a relatively large draw plate for things like tubing. So I'll start with the biggest hole. Nope, second, third. Just keep going until it catches a little bit. And probably right there. And you just grab the draw dog with the tongs and give it a little pull. Now this is fine silver, so it's soft, and you do have to anneal, but you don't have to anneal that often because it's quite cooperative. If you're pulling sterling, it's like a whole different ball game. And take a look. Well, here, sit it down. You see what starts to happen? Basically, the seam starts to disappear for you. The draw plate does that. Right. So usually, by adding the 2 millimeters instead of the 1 millimeter, usually gets rid of all your cleanup for you. Because we're not even done yet. But you see how most of the seam is disappeared? Like there's still a little bit right there. Yep. Okay? So I would say at this point, we'll stop and anneal. And also then we should get out your stone or your whatever and start checking it, because it's actually very easy to get carried away when you're pulling, and then all of a sudden, oh fuck, it's too small. Which, who hasn't said, oh fuck, it's too small? In a variety of situations.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so we have our beautiful tube, and we've pulled it. Seam is nice and disappeared, and it fits the end of our chain perfectly. So these are going to be tubing terminations, and we'll saw off a piece, and maybe we'll granulate or whatever kind of fun things we decide to do. But one of the many uses of tubing. There you go. So that's it for today. Bye.